for this meeting, but on Saturday he decided to go to Le Mans, David, because there was also the preliminary test day in Le Mans, and Ralph at the last moment decided to go to Le Mans because he has an opportunity to drive for Jan Lammers and his Dutch team.
Yes, in fact he'll be co-driving with Justin Wilson and Tom Cornell, so that should be a stout lineup. But back at Zolder, here we are in race 1, and it seems that the Portuguese driver Tiago Monteiro has gotten off to a flyer of a start. He's put some distance between himself and the group running for second, third place. We notice up at the front we have N.KARTHIKEYAN, Enrique Bernardi's mixed up in there. There's a whole cast of characters. Laurent Fred, there's a tremendous French influence in the Nissan World Series these days, perhaps thanks to Renault a little bit anyway. Tell us a little bit about the drivers, perhaps the English audience doesn't know too much about.
Yes, maybe the most famous one is Tristan Gomandy, because he's a former Formula 3 champion, and last year he made a fabulous 24 Hours of Le Mans, again with Jan Lammers.
Yes, in the same car that Ralph will be driving,
exactly.
Actually. Yeah.
And this year he's so in the World Series by Nissan. This is great news for Gomandy. Olivier Pla made a tremendous season in the Euro Series F3 last season. This year is in this championship, and we have also Bruce Joigny, that I think our British viewers
yes, of course, Bruce did very well in British Formula 3 the last couple of years. Now he's decided to move over to Nissan World Series.
And I would like to tell you that Didier André is also part of the show, and Didier André made a career 3 or 4 years ago in the Indy Racing League Championship.
Yes, Didier, in fact, he ran the IRL for a few seasons. Before that, he was an Indy Lights driver back in the late 1990s. I remember myself seeing Didier André take a couple of victories. Oh, and we have a cameraman who got a bit lost. But anyway, Tiago Monteiro's got things well under control. The former Arrows F1 driver, Enrique Bernardi, the winner of the first 2 rounds, the first meeting of the year in Spain, he's running second. And I believe behind we had the Indian driver, Karthikeyan, another F3 graduate from the British Series.
Yes, so Tiago is really flying on this early part of the race. He made the fastest lap on lap 2. And behind we had a maneuver. Yes, that's correct, I think.
Yes, it looks like Villarano getting around Rodriguez there for a place further down the order.
So, and now we have the battle for second place indeed with Bernoldi, Karthikeyan, Villarino,
Kovalainen,
and Kovalainen.
Well.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, the attack from Villarino on Karthikeyan for third place.
Yeah, he didn't quite make that move work. Karthikeyan's holding his line well. Karthikeyan's one of those drivers, it's almost impossible to get around. You really have to have a much better car than the Indian driver, or else he's going to put you off in the grass, and you're going to end up cutting the grass as we do on our weekends. But anyway, up at the front, all alone, not even in camera sight, is the Portuguese driver, Tiago Monteiro. It seems that his experience over in the United States in the Champ Car Series last year is paying mega dividends here today in Zolder. You know a little bit about Tiago with his years running in French Formula 3.
Yes, because
tell us a little bit about that.
When I came to Motors TV in 1999, so it was before the official launch of Motors TV, but we were working on the Formula 3 Championship, and I followed all the Formula 3 French Championship seasons from 1999 to 2002, and that was the time when Tiago Monteiro was really the man to beat, but he had indeed no luck, because every year there was another guy that could clinch the title, but we have to say that Tiago was the best. The best one, but maybe he had not such a big luck to have the title.
Well, he had some very good drivers competing against him. He had Sébastien Bourdais,
Rio Fukuda, Tristan Gomandy, and Jonathan Cochet. You remember, former test driver for Prost. So every year, so he had a real opponent in front of him, but he was the man with the most victories every year.
But let me ask you a question, Laurent Fred, that everybody would like to know. Who speaks better French, Tiago Monteiro or myself?
Tiago Monteiro.
Tiago Monteiro speaks better French than I do. Well,
yes, because he was living in Paris or near Paris since he was a little kid. So we used to say that Tiago was the most French man for a Portuguese one. You understand?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yes. Well, I'm sure he speaks better Portuguese than I do. But as far as the French, I'd like to meet up with Tiago one day, and we'll have a little tete-a-tete, if you will, in French.
Oh, Villarino!
But his teammate isn't having such a good day today, I guess.
But we have to say that Tiago is a real great guy, very nice, and very quick. And he used to do, when he was in Formula 3, other championships.
Yes.
He was doing GT, he was doing Le Mans, and after he did Formula 3000, then Champ Car. So
In fact,
he used to a lot of series.
in fact, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he actually the French GT champion back in 2001?
Maybe yes. Yes, I think that you're right. Yes, I didn't remember, but what I remember is that he did a lot of races during the year, and he was very
Helped him to
very
gain a
good.
lot of experience.
Yes, certainly,
which,
of course.
certainly helps his day-to-day here in Zolder. He's basically checked out on the field. Enrique Bernaldi's running a second-place run with Karthikeyan right on his back bumper. Not on his back bumper, on his back exhaust pipe. Looks like Kovalainen's running a decent fourth place as well. Kovalainen, of course, did extremely well in British F3 racing for quite a while.
And maybe we can say that for this first race.
Well, there you go.
Kovalainen!
We speak about him, and he starts
Yes.
to cut the grass.
So he can keep his fourth place, but
Yeah, I think he's lost all hope of a podium finish here.
yes. And we have. I wanted to say that for this first race, there are no mandatory pit stops.
No, in fact, it's just a quick sprint race, that's true. But in race number 2, they will have to make a mandatory stop.
Yes, to change at least 2 tires at least.
That's right.
Yes. So battle for second place
Yeah,
now. David.
Karthikeyan starting to get... he's definitely quicker than Bernaldi, but once again, the former Arrows driver has tons of experience. It's going to be quite a task to get around him today, but Karthikeyan certainly will take his chances, won't he?
I'm sure you remember this famous Monaco Grand Prix with Bernaldi blocking David Coulthard.
Yeah, Enrique didn't make any fans in Scotland that day. No, he certainly got a couple of one-fingered salutes from Coulthard on that famous Monaco race.
But I don't know what you did think of this story in England, but in France there were a lot of people saying that Bernaldi was a scandalous driver to have done that, and one part of the audience thought that maybe David Coulthard should have attacked more Enrique Bernaldi. I don't know what you remember about this story.
He could have attacked, but once again, we have to remember at Monaco, it's nearly impossible to pass. If a back marker doesn't want you to get around, you're not getting around, unless you're willing to jump over some Armco, and I don't think Ron Dennis would want David Coulthard to damage his machine trying to get around a back marker such as Enrique Bernaldi.
But it was indeed the moment of glory.
Oh yes,
of Enrique.
he definitely was. He got a lot of press on that one, yeah. But here today at Zolder, it's all about T.MONTEIRO. He's basically checked out. Enrique Bernaldi is still running second with, it seems Karthikeyan still dogging him for the second step on the podium. And there's your race winner, T.MONTEIRO, takes the first checkered flag here at Zolder.
More than 6 seconds.
Yes.
Be in front of Bernaldi, so it's a huge gap between Monteiro and Bernaldi.
Very nice gap for Monteiro. That's one happy Portuguese driver. And here are the results from race 1. T.MONTEIRO in the Carlin Motorsports car, a 6-second advantage over Bernaldi at the line. Narin Karthikeyan coming 3rd, Kovalainen 4th, and the Frenchman Bruce Giovanni for KTR coming in strong 5th place. Job well done for the Frenchman.
Yes.
Felix Portiero 6th, Pla 7th, and Fukuda 8th place.
Yes, Rio Fukuda, so as I said maybe earlier, former Formula 3 French champion. Also.
It's a good result for the Paul Belmondo racing team. They're a bit new to this championship. And
yes, Paul Belmondo, remember, he made some Formula 1 races, and here is the father of Thiago, always there to be with his son. It was already the case in Formula 3.
And there's T.MONTEIRO, very, very pleased Portuguese driver from the Carlin Motorsport outfit. The green flag's been dropped, and it seems like Tristan Gomandi's trying to make his way on the outside of Kovalainen.
I think he succeeded indeed.
Yes, we'll have to see. Yes, in fact, the Frenchman has passed the Finnish driver.
And what is interesting, David, is that T.MONTEIRO did not do the pole for this race. He's only 3rd on the grid.
No, that's true. In fact, with the separate qualifying sessions for each race, from time to time, even though you may be the quickest qualifier in the first session and win the first race, you won't necessarily start up front in the second race.
So I think maybe it's great for everybody to have not T.MONTEIRO leading.
Yes, it makes for a better show, obviously. But one man who maybe is slightly disappointed is Enrique Bernaldi. The Brazilian did not do a very good job in the second qualifying session, Laurent Frederick.
No, yes, only 6th
on the grid.
Yeah. So it's a little bit disappointing.
But early on here in race 2, it's all about the French driver, Tristan Gomandi.
Yes, here is Rio Fukuda. Well placed also on 4th position.
Fukuda's perhaps the second best Japanese driver at this time.
Yes, I
behind
think so.
Sato,
Exactly.
he's really doing well. Yeah?
I think you're right, David. He used to be also a bar test driver, Ryo
Yes,
Fukuda.
that's true, yeah.
Oh, the attack of Montero against Kovalainen for second place, because we don't see Gomondi anymore.
Gomondi's checked out.
Where is he?
He's got a 2.3 second lead over this battle for second place between Kovalainen and Monteiro, with Karthikeyan not too far back in fourth place.
Aha, maybe the first victory of the year for a Frenchman.
Yeah, it could happen. I'd like to see how the Indian driver does. He's known to not take any stick from anybody and certainly not let anyone get around. So I'd like to see if Karthikeyan can't join this group for the battle for second place.
So in Formula 3, in French Formula 3, in 1999, Bourdais was champion.
Yes,
in
Sebastian Bourdais.
Yes, in 2000, in 2000 it was Bourdais. 2001 it was Fukuda. 2002 it was Cochet, and 2003 it was Gomondi.
It's a great training series, this
Yes.
French Formula 3. It's almost on par with the British F3 Championship, not to play the French against the British, but they both have very, very strong feeder series for eventual drivers of Nissan World Series or F3000 or the like.
But sorry for
Sure.
disturbing you for the race, but the French Formula 3 Championship doesn't exist anymore. You have to know that, because now that we have the Euro Series
That's
F3,
right, it's been
at
merged
the
with the
beginning,
Germans,
yes,
yeah.
it was between Germany and France, and in Germany they kept another Formula 3 Championship, less important, but they kept one. In France, they decided to cancel indeed the French Formula 3 Championship and to merge the competitors into this Euro F3 series.
Yeah, it's very much a sign of the times, with the French and Germans teaming up to try to take on the British. Well, you know, us in the UK, we're not going to put our defenses down. We'll take on you French and Germans anytime. And here we see Fukuda in the pits, making his mandatory pit stop early on in the race for Paul Bellon.
Oh, watch out.
Watch himself, yes. Well, it seems that everybody's coming in, Lanfred.
Yes, so this is the mandatory pit stop we told about earlier. So we have to change 2 tires.
Yes, Kovalainen's teammate gets out. Violano. Oh, somebody's decided to cut some grass.
Alvarez.
There's our front Alvarez once again.
So Ralph Furman should have
Yeah, Ralph was supposed to be the teammate to Alvarez
Yes.
this weekend, but once again, like we had said in race 1, he made his way down to France for a little bit of Le Mans testing, getting ready for that big race coming up in June.
So Alvarez decides to stop, but the top 3 of this race hasn't stopped yet. Gomondi, Kovalainen, Montero. It seems that Kovalainen and Montero are coming just behind Gomondi.
Yeah, they're starting to cut into the lead just a little bit. Interesting to see Monteiro, because when he came to Champ Car last year, everyone said, well, who's this Portuguese driver? We've never heard of him. And I'll tell you what, at that first race in St. Petersburg, he actually led a few laps early on. It was pit stop strategy, but nevertheless, he actually led in his first ever Champ Car race. Throughout the season, he was pretty much a midfield runner until they came to the second to last race. He qualified on the front. Here he is in the pits, but he qualified on the front row and finished a very, very strong, credible 6th place. And we'll see how his Champ Car experience is paying off big time in this pit stop. He was able to get out very, very quick.
Less than 6 seconds in pit stop for this pit stop. I think it's gonna be very hard to beat such a time.
It's going to be very tight, especially now that Gomondi's got Kovalainen all over his back bumper. And we see the Irish driver, M.KEOHANE, who's kind of had a disappointing weekend here at Zolder. He's running down the order. He's 7th now, but he'll fall back down into the mid pack around 15th or so.
He's the teammate of Montero.
Yes.
But not as quick, we have to say.
No. Kovalainen.
So 5.8 for Montero. Oh, 7.2.
A little bit slower. Here's Gomondi's stop.
No, Karthikeyan.
Is it Karthikeyan? I'm sorry.
Oh! Ooh. Still
the Indian
frightening.
driver,
Yes.
He may have to come back around. There might be some sort of issue to deal with the course marshals, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, the Frenchman Gomondi pretty much having it all to himself at this point.
I'm not sure that his strategy is the good one.
No, if he wants his strategy to pay off, he's going to really have to put in a couple of flying laps to make up that time. He's going to, and there we speak of the devil. He goes flying into the pits.
He's not going off or wide.
Oh, no, just going into the pits.
Lane, yes. So, remember, 5.8 for Montero.
Yes. Oh, we have a very courageous cameraman. Let's get right in on the action. Just
No,
get
it's
out
not
the-
as
oh,
good.
No, but we have a director who doesn't like to show us the end of pit stops. But anyway, T.MONTEIRO Montero has retaken the lead. A little bit of gearbox trouble, it looks like, for the Japanese driver, Fukuda.
It's a shame he was in 4th position.
Yeah, I think he's telling his team manager that he doesn't have any gears.
So another problem for Alvarez.
Alvarez, yes.
But I think, yes, Thiago Monteiro has taken the lead.
Oh, it's pretty much a walk in the park here today in Belgium for Montero. He's looking to make the double. Not too bad for second weekend of the year.
I'm surprised anyway by the gap now between Monteiro and Gomondi.
Yes.
It
fact, I
seems
think-
that
If I'm not mistaken, isn't that Kovalainen running
yes,
second?
Kovalainen second and Gomondi only third,
Yeah.
but far now from Monteiro. Look at that,
Yeah.
more than 6 seconds.
But the big question is, where's Enrique Bernaldi?
You're right, yes. For the championship, it's going to be interesting because obviously Monteiro and Bernaldi will be very close.
Montero, if he holds on today in the second race, he's going to go home with maximum points.
15 for a victory,
Yeah.
then 12, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the first 10.
Like in it's not like in
Yes,
Formula 1.
no,
It's
no,
slightly
15
different,
points for the winner.
That's right,
And the first 10 drivers score points. Hey, it seems, David, that we have a fight for first place because of the traffic.
Yes, it looks like the number 21 car, Rodriguez, is a serious rolling chicane here today at Zolder. Monteiro's going to have to do his best to deal with the back marker, but he's got a hard-charging fin all over his back.
Can Kovalainen do it?
Well, now it's a drag race.
Oh, look at that.
Kovalainen definitely got the better of it in the traffic. Oh, he's looking to the inside. Heavy braking. Monteiro locks it up. Kovalainen goes wide. Monteiro cuts back across. Classic move, huh?
Obviously, I would say, but it was a nice attempt from Kovalainen. But
He's got to try.
Yes, and he's not happy, of course. Maybe he could have done it, but it was too just to go on the inside. He's on the dirty part of the
He's
track.
on the dirty part of the circuit. Monteiro has to lock up his back wheels. Kovalainen goes wide.
Well,
Monteiro goes to the inside.
it's
Perfect.
very well done by Monteiro. But I think that Kovalainen had to do it. And
He's got to try.
He's
He's got to try. He's got to try. But I don't think he's going to be buying a cold drink for the number 21 car today. And here we see Gomondi also having to deal with the back marker. Well, he gets through a little bit easier.
And Gomondi has to keep an eye on N.KARTHIKEYAN just
Yes,
behind
well,
him.
Gomondi can rely on Rodriguez there to hold up N.KARTHIKEYAN just a little bit, I guess.
And it's
Oh yes,
la.
oh yes, N.KARTHIKEYAN's not going to be happy with that. A little one-finger salute.
As we say in French, oh la la.
Translated in English, oh la la.
So I think now that the
Things seem to have
more
calmed down a
difficult
little
done
bit.
have been done.
Gomondi's running by himself, comfortably third. N.KARTHIKEYAN's been left back just a little bit. Interesting to see on the Gomondi car. The colors of the car remind me of perhaps a certain relationship that the French driver may have with a certain French manufacturer. A little bit of blue and yellow there from the Renault colors.
Yes, exactly. Because Tristan is part of a French team, Saulnier Racing.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure there is a real connection between Renault and Saulnier, or between Formula 1 and World Series Nissan. Because we even don't know if this series is going to go on, because
that's true,
as you know, there will be a new Formula 2 or Formula 2000 replacing the Formula 3000,
Yes,
and this will be held by Renault. So
in fact, as we're on our last lap, and Thiago Monteiro's cruising along, perhaps to a second victory on the day. It is true, there's so many different championships now going with the Formula Renault V6, with the Formula Nissan, with F3000, Euro F3000. Anyway, we'll talk about that another time as Thiago Monteiro takes his second win of the day. Yes, once again, that is one happy Portuguese driver.
So 2 races and 2 wins for Thiago Monteiro.
Perfect weekend for the Portuguese driver in Belgium.
And my dear David, I have to tell you that Enrique Bernaldi is only 10th.
That's going to hurt his championship standings. But anyway, Kovalainen came second, Gomondi third, N.KARTHIKEYAN fourth. Jean-Christophe Ravier, fine 5th place. Juan Cruz Alvarez, we didn't see too much in, but anyway, he scored 6th place in front of Olivier Pla, Adrien Velez, Felix Portiero, and the rest.
Olivier Pla was hired by Supernova during the winter for doing the Formula 3000 Championship, but he hasn't found